Good morning, Philippines. It's Thursday, February 14, 2013, Valentine's Day. Welcome to Practical Business, now on its third season. On the show today is Bea Trinidad, who will tell us how the hotel and restaurant business is like on Valentine's Day. Also with us is Miss Stargazer, a noted psychic who's going to share some do's and don'ts in doing business this year. I'm your host, Miguel Hill. Before anything, happy Valentine's Day to all our viewers. You know, friends, it is said that the hotel business reaches its climax during Valentine's Day, and the same can be said about the restaurant industry. So we have as our guest Miss Bea Trinidad, who will speak in behalf of the Cravings group of companies. This conglomerate, this group of companies has a lot of hotels and restaurants under its wing. Bea, good morning and welcome to Practical Business.
Good morning, Miguel. Thank you for having me here, especially for such a good topic like Valentine's Day.
Yes, very appropriate. Anyway, we're told that the rooms in most hotels are fully booked tonight.
Yeah.
How true is that?
Definitely true. I mean, you know, the second biggest holiday in the Philippines is Valentine's, first being Mother's Day.
Yes.
So a lot of couples are trying to escape the hustle and bustle of the city.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of them check in because, you know, that relaxes, that makes them celebrate love, if anything.
So is that a yearly trend?
Yeah, I think every Valentine's, hotels are really competitive with their packages. It's not because, you know, Valentine's is a very stressful day for guys and girls because they're trying to plan the day and make sure that
It's
they feel-
memorable.
Yeah, exactly. So
Memorable, romantic, intimate, and of course the financial dimension of it has to come in.
it has
whether
to
they
tick
like-
all the boxes, from the music,
Yes.
the dinner, and the accommodation. So hotels right now, especially in the Philippines, there's so many packages. You really have to check in all the boxes, not just the dinner.
Okay, Bea, one would think that when the demand is very high, the prices will be just as high. But I am told, and I've done my research for the purpose of this interview, is apparently a lot of hotels or motels, inns, or what have you, are coming out with a lot of promos, rate cuts, and whatever. Why is this? I mean, and what preparations has the industry been taking?
I think most of the packages nowadays is very affordable. It ranges from maybe 3,000 to 12,000 pesos, and you really get value for money. Like in 7 Suites, they have a stellar dinner promo, which is, you know, 3-course with wine, with gift, with music.
With gift? Okay.
Yeah, with, you know, you don't have to think about that, and as well as, you know, an art gallery. But at the same time, you also can upgrade to about 5,000 pesos for a room, and from dinner, from breakfast to dinner.
Okay, we have some video of your establishment here. The viewers will be seeing that. Anyway, tell us something about Cravings Group and 7 Suites in particular.
Well, the Cravings Group really started with my mom and my grandmother. It started with a little bake shop, and then eventually they got into catering, opened more restaurants, Filipino, cafe, and then they did the boutique hotels. My parents said they love...
This is a special thing for Valentine's.
Of course, you know, when you go to a room, you don't want to just see a bed. You want to see something interesting, whether it's a heart or rose petals. So yeah, this started out with my parents going to a lot of bed and breakfasts in Australia. So they went back to the Philippines and decided, why not have one here? And the perfect location was Antipolo because you have the city lights and the great skyline of Manila as a backdrop.
I think they have a name for it, overlooking.
Exactly, overlooking.
It's become generic when you hear overlooking.
Yeah.
It's probably somewhere in Antipolo. You know, which is interesting because when I was a teenager, there was almost nothing there. It was sort of a maybe a lover's lane of sorts, but then again you'd think twice about going there at night because you might get robbed or something. Now it's a bustling place as far as business is concerned. They have lots of restaurants
Restaurants as well.
and hotels. Okay, let's focus on hotels by tiers. I mean by levels. You have, of course, the deluxe hotels, or what was formerly referred to as the five-star hotels. But more and more, you see a lot of, do you call it two-star hotels? And what do you consider seven suites to be?
Well, I consider seven suites. You don't really, I think it's not traditional anymore to do the stars. It's more of boutique or luxury hotel. Seven suites would probably, you know, be positioned as a boutique hotel because there's something, it's got 11 rooms, and there's something unique about it, the fact that it has the fourth most powerful telescope. It's not a grand hotel, but it's something unique.
With
And
a telescope, so you can go stargazing.
Yeah.
Which I think is very appropriate since we have Miss Stargazer as our guest.
Stargazer.
Anyway, I'll ask you one thing. A lot of Filipinos are either in some sort of medical profession, not necessarily being doctors, nurses, medics, etc., PTs, or they are into the HRM, hotel restaurant management, hospitality industry, or the culinary industry. So, do you think that uh, I mean, give us a projection. What do you think of the industry this year, in view of the fact that you have a lot of labor being produced by the? Do they get the jobs, or do we have enough hotels and restaurants to admit everyone, all those graduates?
I think with the hotel and hospitality industry, it's really booming this year. I mean, you have a lot of international brands like Raffles, Shangri-La, Grand Hyatt opening here because they know that a lot more tourists, a lot more people here can afford it and want to escape the office work.
Okay, so let's look at the hotel and restaurant industry from a different standpoint. You're looking at it from the business entrepreneurial standpoint. Let's look at it from a psychic standpoint. Ma'am, what do you think the hotel and restaurant industry is gonna be like this year?
It's gonna be.
It's a services industry.
Yeah,
diba?
it's a services. Well, it's gonna be. It's parang they're gonna be competing with each other. No, there's a competition's gonna be that tough, no. Kasi it's like what she said. It's not anymore just a hotel or a restaurant. The perks that will come with it, no. So, ngayon this year, it's gonna be really up and booming. So was with the creative endeavor, so was with food. So it's more of the hotel thing. It's more of tourism thing.
You know, I was surprised to find out that a lot of my contemporaries in school are actually in either the hotel or restaurant. I mean, I would remember 20 years ago, no one really spoke about that. No one said that I would someday become a chef or someday own a hotel or manage a hotel. But apparently they got into it because maybe that's the industry demands. No? So what changed in the landscape? Is it the Philippines opening itself up to a lot of to more foreigners?
I think
or
it's
what?
more of education. Like with the Cravings Group, they have a culinary school, CCA, and you know you empower kids and say that cooking is not just in the kitchen. It's not safe for the dirty kitchen. You can actually put up a restaurant. You can promote Filipino culture through food. So that's very exciting to some people. So you don't just say cusinero, you say chef now. And the same with service. You're not just hotel servant, you're a bellboy. There's a different hospitality, and I think it's very competitive already.
I noticed even among the culinary profession, the chefs, there's a pecking group of sorts in that industry. Meaning to say, if you say you are a chef, someone's gonna challenge you and gonna ask you, where did you graduate from? You're not really a chef. You're just a cook. So basically, it's become that competitive, and that's why the pecking order, the caste system, so to speak, has been developed. So looking forward, do you recommend this industry to a lot of the younger ones who may be thinking about what college course to take up?
I do recommend it, but it's very hard work and long hours.
Sort
But
of like
it's,
being a doctor.
yeah, it's like a doctor. There's a lot of labor involved. You're always placing the customers. You're making sure food costs work out. Everything. It's a complicated industry, but at the same time, it's booming.
What do you think about about the hotel restaurant industry? Marami kasi
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of graduates again in about a month's time, and a fresh set of students are coming in. So is it a good idea to enroll in this? Considering there are so many graduates who are still job hunting pero are not that successful.
Well, basically, one has to look into whether they really are serious into getting into the culinary business or whatever. Like for one, my daughter wants to study in your school when she
Okay.
graduates, no? So, first you look at whether is it workable. Meaning, is there employment after, or what are your chances? So I suggest kasi like people, most of the students who would want to get into the culinary business or education, they would have to look for also for work abroad. It's gonna be too tight in the Philippines also because there's so much
Competition.
competition. Although there are a lot of in the hospitality business, a lot of hotels coming in, restaurants, no. But I guess it's also the foreign market, the foreign. You have to go out and seek employment also in another country.
But yeah, the Department of Tourism has been promoting local tourism. So that basically expands the market for you,
Yeah.
especially places like Seven Suites and other suburban hotels. How can you exploit that?
With the Department of Tourism, obviously they've had a very aggressive promotion with tourists, and they really want to promote Filipino culture. I think it's staying true to that, showing Filipino hospitality, showing Filipino food, what the people are really about. Like DOT sponsored an event that CCA organized, which is the Manila Food and Wine Festival, and with that you just have to work with DOT and don't shy away. Don't try to introduce Western culture in the hotels. Introduce Filipino food. Introduce tapsilog. Corned beef in the breakfast, but make it look good.
Okay, so are the tastes of Filipinos now sort of evolving upwards? Because there was a time when teenagers or the young folk would be happy to go to a fast food chain. I mean, that was years ago. That was sort of cool.
Yes, I
So
grew
to
up on
speak.
Jollibee.
Yeah. But now, I mean, when you take a girl out on a date, you have to sort of wine and dine her. I mean, I guess that's good from a cultural point of view, but not from a financial point of view if you're the guy. So, what do you think?
There's nothing wrong with it. I think you can do KKB or and especially with couples. There's a really strong dining culture in Manila now.
Yes.
People are always trying out restaurants, and of course it hurts in the pocket. But I think you take turns if you're a couple.
Especially if it's Valentine's.
Yes.
Okay. Practical Business will be right back after a few reminders. Don't go away.